we're going to talk about Nikola Jokic and what an NBA Finals win would mean for him. Rob, Jokic was fantastic last night. 27 points, a game high 27 points, a game high 14 assists, and 10 rebounds for yet another triple-double. And he became the second player, ever to notch a triple-double in his finals debut. He had a career or a finals high 14 assists. That's the highest ever for a center. And his 14 assists were the highest ever in a finals debut. That includes Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, and all the other, Bob Cousy, all the other fantastic point guards and others, Larry Bird, LeBron James, who have played in the NBA Finals. And Rob, this might be the most incredible thing. He did all that and took 12 shots. 27 points on 12 shots. He was fantastic, and he's looking every bit as good as advertised. And we've been giving him his flowers a lot lately. But let me ask, I want to get to this because I said before the series began, what's the day? Friday? It was earlier this week. I don't know which day. But I said that I'll preface it with this, but this really isn't even why, I'm saying it. But if Nikola Jokic wins this championship, I think he's better than Dirk Nowitzki. But
I saw that.
I think he's better than Dirk Nowitzki anyway. Yeah, I guess it went viral.
It went viral, Chris, because did you see what I sent you from SI? Did you look at your phone? Look at your phone. Yeah. It's just a headline. It says FS1's Chris Broussard. Look at it real quick. So, yeah.
FS1's Chris Broussard catching heat for aggressive Nikola Jokic.
Aggressive. That's what it says.
Yeah,
Kyle Kuzma wants you fired, Chris.
Rob.
Kyle Kuzma wants you fired, Chris.
Yeah, but Kyle Kuzma, you can come on the show. Come on. You can come on the show.
Why does he want you? What'd you say about Kyle Kuzma?
Look, I ain't got time to talk about freaking Kyle Kuzma.
All right, Let's
get to the point. I'm doubling down. I have nothing but respect for Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki is a fantastic, all-time great NBA player. And he has a great championship. He has one, and it was over.
It was big time. It was
big time, but I say this not to take away from Dirk because a lot of people might take it this way. But, Rob, LeBron melted down, and that's why Dallas beat them, in my view. Now, I'm not taking that away from Dirk. I'm just saying that happened. But he has a fantastic championship because it was over the big three. But I think since then, people have overrated him. He's, of course, a Hall of Famer. He's, of course, a top 75 player. But I've heard people say he's top 20 or lower all time. I've heard people say he's the best power forward ever. And they're basing it solely on, but that's what you're hearing. I don't think he's better than Karl Malone. I don't think he's better than Charles Barkley. You want to argue Kevin Garnett? Okay, Garnett obviously better defensively, Dirk better offensively. But Nikola Jokic is better than Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk was a scorer. Dirk was a great scorer. But Jokic scores just as much. And then rebounds way better. Dirk's a 7-footer, never averaged 10 rebounds a game.
And an unbelievable assist man, Chris. He almost had a triple-double this year.
Yeah, I didn't even get to that.
I know.
Dirk never averaged even 4 assists a game.
I mean,
and you're gonna compare Rob? It sounds like you agree.
No, I agree. I mean, this guy almost won 3 MVPs in a row, Chris.
Thank you.
He almost won 3 in a row.
About?
I mean, let's not. let's not bury the lead and act like Dirk ever was even close to anything like that. Because it's not true.
No, you're exactly right. I'm shocked. I mean, it's fine. We love going viral, right? Whatever the case. But I'm shocked that people think this is like crazy. He's better. Watch the basketball. Again, he scores just as much as Dirk. In fact, Dirk, his highest career average, for a season was 26.5 points. Jokic isn't even primarily a scorer, and in his young, brief career, he's already eclipsed that. He averaged 27 points a game just last year. And as Rob mentioned, the rebounding is way better. The assist, the passing is way better. He's, I think, the best passing big man ever. Some might say Bill Walton, who was phenomenal, but I would go with Jokic. And then Dirk wasn't great defensively. Jokic isn't great defensively. I think Jokic might be a tad better just because, he's big and he's more toward the basket. So his size they're not good at rim protection, the Nuggets, but it's, neither one, both of them have size. So you can say, even though they weren't great defenders, it can nullify, the negativity, and they're not a liability on that end of the floor. But he's more efficient than Dirk. I don't even think it's a debate. I really, and that's not to slight Dirk at all. It's just clearly one guy does way more.
It's just that I think people, when you crown somebody, maybe Chris, is it premature? You think they're reacting because Jokic hasn't won yet? Do you know what I mean? Could it be that? Because everything else you're talking about is better, like the numbers. But is that what it is, or is there some feeling of just, Dirk beat LeBron when he had what I mean? Okay.
To me,
okay,
and we'll bring Rob G on. He's read all the comments.
Rob G, is that what it is?
But let me say this first. I think you hit it on the head. I think people are saying, and let's face it, maybe that finals was 12 years ago. So there might be some of the younger people. I don't know what the age of everybody, that's weighing in, but some of the younger people may not even have really seen or watched that with a real basketball eye. Maybe they were younger then, but I think they are looking at it. There are some people, Rob, that put so much into a championship. And look, we talk about rings and they do matter, but I'm not going to say necessarily just because a guy has one ring, and Jokic, we think, is about to equal that one ring and already has more MVPs.
Right.
But I think people are looking at just saying, this guy beat Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh in the finals. He's got to be like one, you know what I mean? I think that is why. But I think by the time Jokic is said, I think in a manner of a couple of years, or a few years, couple is two, a few years, this won't even be a debate. Rob, I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I'm not saying Larry Bird is Larry Bird, right? But I'm saying I do think, like, the guy that, and let's just keep it real, we're talking about white players. I mean, Jokic is an all-time great player, period, regardless of race.
Right.
But Larry Bird is generally regarded as the best white player of all time, and I think I agree with that. I think Jokic could. I'm not saying he's better, and he's not better than Bird at this point. I think he is a lot like a 7-foot type Bird, and I think that is the guy he's going to be chasing, not Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, I see that. I think there's a fondness for Bird and the era that he played into, Chris. Am I right? Where this era, and I'm not knocking anybody here, and all the European players have said it, they're all stated on the record, Chris, easier to score now than ever before, right? It's just this league is easy to score on. I don't know if it was that easy when Larry Bird was playing. Like, not this easy.
They scored a lot back then, like now, but it was more physical.
Right. It was definitely. Sure. And I think that, and some of the other things.
And the three-pointer wasn't a big deal.
It was only like you
Bird
needed
was a
three,
great
Chris.
shooter, but rarely shot threes.
Only when you needed one, right? We need one. Let's get a three. Other than that, it wasn't like people were tossing it up. So I hear you. I don't think that it's – I think maybe people just are Rob G has it. Let's hear what people
Rob
say.
Go ahead.
Because I'm guessing that he didn't win yet and you're already crowning him.
No, it's less about Jokic because I think reading the comments at least, a lot of it says, everything that Chris said about Jokic is true. He's great. He's putting up big numbers, and what he's doing against the competition is incredible. Where it seems to be that Chris is getting the most backlash is they're taking it as if you're tearing down Dirk to build up Jokic.
Okay.
Well, and they point out the run that he made in that championship. And a lot of people think that one ring carries a lot of weight.
No, right. I agree.
It was an incredible run.
Let me ask you this,
Rob.
It was. Let me ask you this. I think that might be me saying Barkley and Malone are better than Dirk. Would you agree with that? Like, it seems like they may be reacting to that.
And I think that you mentioned, that if Jokic wins this championship, he won't be on KD's level, but he's already better than Dirk, and he'll be passing.
And you said he'll be
passing
Barkley.
So you're putting four guys already ahead of Dirk before you even get to Jokic. I think that's
I do think that I think KD is better than Dirk. I think Barkley and Malone are better than Dirk. Now, people are saying, I'm sure they're putting Dirk ahead of those guys because he got the one ring.
Right, and saying, well, how do you have Barkley ahead of him? He didn't even win.
Right.
But it's more than that. I mean, come on.
Right.
We don't, even when we talk about the Jordan thing, and I know everybody thinks it's just the 6 rings, Chris, but we say it's not.
Right.
It's not just the 6 ring. That's the icing on the cake, don't you think?
Yep. I mean, look, you got to win. But there is and I don't want to take anything away from guys that have just one ring, but multiple rings is a lot different than one ring.
Yeah, and winning is important.
That's you got to win. Of course.
I always talk, and that's why I always bring up. I know you hate when I do it, but that's why I always bring up Marv Levy. Like, they had a great team, Chris. They had a great run, but they didn't win. Like, doesn't that stump the Buffalo Bills? Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is I don't think it means Marv Levy wasn't a great coach, but I agree. It does. You can only put him at such a level.
Right. He has a ceiling, right? Yep, there's a ceiling for him because he didn't win.
And I think, look, if a guy's got 2 or more rings, it's hard to put somebody with no rings ahead of them. If he was the main guy. But just one ring, I mean, I just looking at Charles Barkley as a rebounder, I mean, that dude was freaking tenacious as a rebounder.
But Chris, people are saying that if you really look at the resumes, that Dirk's resume is better than Barkley's. Could that be the case?
He played longer. He has more total points.
Yeah.
It's arguable because Dirk was great. But in my opinion, I would take Barkley. But look, it's arguable. I will admit that it's arguable.
It's like all NBA 12 to 11 Dirk, right? What else?
Because he played and Barkley didn't play.
They both got an MVP, Chris, but one guy had the chip, right? They both had one, so it's very close. And the only difference,
championship,
is the championship.
I don't think it would be. I think if Dirk didn't have that championship, people would say it's Barkley. Yeah. And it's Malone. But that, and that I get, that's fine. That's fine. If people want to give that championship that much weight, got no issues with it.